Trees aren't green, the ocean is gray, sky is a vague blue, come my way. My room is a mess, it could use a hand. My favorite TV shows are capturing. I know my scared.
Hello my friends, today I am going to be going book shopping, book thrifting for a bit, and I thought I would take you along because it's been a long time since I've done so. It's been a long time since I've gone. It's been even longer since I've taken you along. Like I've been kind of mentioning, I'm trying to buy less books, which is great. But when I do buy them, I either want them to be amazing books that I'm buying or thrifted ones. I will mostly be looking for some classics. I have some books for a homeschool that I want to keep my eye out for. But the thing with the thrift store is you never know what you're going to get. So I'm going to keep my eyes open. Would love to fill out my Mrs. Paulifax collection, but we'll see. We'll see what I can find. And then at the end of this video, maybe like the second half or whatever it is, I'm going to share some recent reads, give you guys an update so I can work on my next Emma M. Lyon book, as always. Yeah, so let's see what we can find at the thrift store, see how many copies of Twilight we come across. Reika and I have kind of started when we go thrifting, taking all the copies of Twilight and putting them together just because it's like one of those books and series that are always there and it's kind of funny. I'm hoping to share more clips of the actual thrift store than normal, like share all the books, because I really like seeing people's thrifting videos when I can see the shelves and see all the books and see, oh, if I was there I would have grabbed that book and that book, or oh, I love that book. So there's gonna hopefully be a lot more clips of that. This particular thrift store, often the radio is really loud and then it's harder to film and talk in, but we'll see what we can do, see what we can find. Maybe I'll share a book haul if I actually find anything. You never know. And if I have time, I'll go to 2 thrift stores, but we'll see how it all goes.
In the quiet of the night, my head's going so loud. It sounds just like a party. Thoughts spin around like shadows they cast. I'm an overthinker, lost in my life. I'm always searching for answers I'll never find. That's in every moment, every choice I make. Caught in a cycle, can't catch a break. Wish that I could just turn on like a switch in my brain so I can finally breathe. Thoughts spin around like shadows they cast. I'm an overthinker, lost in my life. I'm always searching for answers I'll never find.
Okay, I just finished at Goodwill, putting a heavy dose of hand sanitizer on the hands. Got a few books I'll share when I get back. They have reduced their book selection in half since the last time I was here. It used to be like 2 full walls, or aisles, I guess, and now it's just 1. Double-sided, but it used to be 2 double-sided, so that's sad. Where are all the books going? Well, maybe people are reading ebooks like me. But I'm gonna go to Value Village next. Their books are more expensive, so I don't like to go there first. I like to come here first and then only buy the stuff at Value Village if I really want it, because their books are usually $5 plus. So we'll see what we can find next. Also, it was crazy busy in there. It's not even seniors discount day. I don't know why everyone seems to be out shopping, maybe because the weather is nice and everyone wants to get out of the house, but hopefully Value Village isn't as busy.
In a world of green, just like a dream, you and I standing wild and free, with petals so golden, the sun's warm kiss, a love so strong, a bliss. Whispers of the breeze, secrets unfold. It's you that I need, it's you that I want. When the world gets cold, it's you and me. When the sun comes back, you'll see. Oh, dandelion, the strength that you've shown, stronger each year. Look how we hold on through the toughest of times. We still stand strong. Through pavement we will grow. Forever we will grow.
Okay, so I went to 2 thrift stores, got I think about 10 books. I think it was 5 at each. Goodwill cost $11 and Value Village was $20. It's always like twice as expensive. It's crazy. Although I did buy a couple bigger books there, so let's share them with you. I have mixed up where they have come from, so it doesn't matter. I got Great Expectations by Charles Dickens because I'm pretty sure I don't own a copy of this. It's one that I've tried to read twice and never got through, but now I'm in my routine of reading a Dickens each year, and I'm looking forward to finally finishing this one when it comes up in my rotation. So now I own a copy of it. This is, it's like just shy of 500 pages in this edition, so technically not a tome. Then I found Robinson Crusoe, which I have read, and I don't think that I own a copy of. And this is the Classic Living Book edition, which is they're very homeschool based. I don't know if they republish public domain books that are very much in line with the Charlotte Mason method and Ambleside Online. And I've never seen one like in a thrift store before. And it has illustrations, which is fun. So I grabbed a copy of that. I have read this. I don't know if I'm going to reread it in the next few years, but I think it'll be good for school. Very, very Charlotte Mason inspired here. I found Plutarch, The Rise and Fall of Athens, 9 Greek Lives. This is another Charlotte Mason thing, read. I don't really know anything about Plutarch, so I can't say much, but what edition is this? It's Penguin Classics, but instead of having the red line, it's purple. That's throwing me off. So it is pretty short. It's under 300 pages or just over 300 pages. I feel like I can get through that eventually. Then I got 2 of these No Fear Shakespeare. This one was from a library, so we've got Othello. What I like about these is it has the regular Shakespeare play, and then on this side it's got a line-by-line translation, so very good. My 14-year-old has read 2 Shakespeare plays so far this year, and she really likes these editions, so when I found Othello I thought I would grab it. And then I also got Hamlet, so she will read these in the next little while. I think there was a Macbeth there, and she was like, oh, if you see Macbeth, she said this afterwards, grab me a copy because I want to keep one for myself so I can mark it up, because she read that for fun and enjoyed it. So got 2 more Shakespeare that way. I also own a book of like all the Shakespeare in one, which is not fun to read, but it's a really nice looking book. But the modern plain English on the other side is super helpful. Then I found Thomas Hardy, The Return of the Native. I have not yet read any Thomas Hardy, but I am collecting his books. That being said, I did not buy, there was a couple other Thomas Hardy I saw today. I didn't buy them because they were just in different editions. See, this one's got the red line. This is normal. And they didn't look very easy to hold. Like this one's nice and floppy, it's great. But I thought I would probably find those other Hardy books in better editions through the years. I haven't even started reading his books and I think I own like 3 or 4 of them now, so I'm in no rush. Then I found Bill Bryson, A Short History of Nearly Everything. And I have read some Bill Bryson before. He really can be a little bit vulgar, but I've heard this recommended for certain chapters of it recommended for homeschool. So I would like to proof those chapters and go from there. This one cost $5.99. This was the most expensive book, but Value Village is buy 4 get 1 free. So I got like one of the cheap ones free. I think it was Thomas Hardy. This one's $2.99, so I got that one free. Then I found Of Mice and Men in this very classic edition. I did not realize this book is so short. It's super short. It's under 100 pages. So maybe that will be my first book by him. I have East of Eden, but that's much bigger. And this one would be an easy one to check off. Then I bought a book I do have in a different edition. I don't generally like to do this, but I have been raving about these modern library editions, and I found Vanity Fair in it. I was raving about the floppiness level, and this feels really good to read from. I don't think that the other edition that I have will be as easy to read from, so I will probably just keep this and then get rid of that one. Then I got the last one I got is a South Africa, like 20 South African photographers. So I think it's pictures by 20 South African photographers, and I don't know if there is some writing involved with it. I don't know if they're all explained, but having adopted a child from South Africa, I want to make sure that we have some books that are about his country as well. So I will look through this. I don't know if there's any in here that I should maybe hold off showing for a while, so I need to look at it. But either way, I thought this would be a good one to have, whether or not it's something that's visible right off the bat. And yeah, that is my little book haul. I actually found a lot more books than I was expecting, and I'm pleased with my purchases here. Let me know if you saw anything while I was thrifting, like, oh, I would have grabbed that book. There's a few books that I saw that I would have grabbed if I didn't already own them, and then a few that I was like, oh, should I grab this? Like one for the Murphys is a really good middle grade book about foster care, but I don't know if I care to own it or if I can just get it from the library when I want to reread it. So stuff like that. Now I will be back in a couple of days, a few seconds for you, and share my last reading wrap up for probably like pretty much till the end of February. So I'll be back in a bit. Okay, different day, but I'm back. Want to update you on my last reads of February. I just finished a book this morning, last day of February right now. But first I want to share 3 books that I have out from the library that I don't know if I will read because March starts tomorrow, so then I have like this full March TBR plus all of February's TBR I haven't gotten to, but I would really like to read all 3 of these at some point. The first one is Lucy Maud Montgomery, The Gift of Wings. This is a biography by Mary Henley Rubio. We talked about this briefly in the Anne of Avonlea live. So it has been announced that they are going to be doing, I think it's a series of some sort, I don't know how long, of the life of Lucy Maud Montgomery. The actress who is playing Maud is Megan Follows, the woman who was a girl who acted as Anne of Green Gables in the 80s movies, and she's gonna be playing Maud, and it's based off of this biography. And a couple people piped up and said it's really good. I remember Anne from In Search of Wonder said it, and there was a couple other people. It's big, it's over 600 pages. So I don't feel like I could just squeeze this in, And I don't know when the TV series is supposed to start. I don't even know if they've like actually started filming it, but I would definitely like to read this before starting that. To my knowledge, it's just her biography, but there are a lot of pictures scattered throughout. They're kind of hard to find because they're just on the regular paper, but like I love this picture of Maud from when she was 12. Oh, she looks just amazing. So cool. So I have this from the library. Don't think I'm gonna read it at this point. I also got The Girl Behind the Wall by Mandy Robotham. I actually have never heard of this, but my 11-year-old is currently reading A Night Divided, and which is a great book by Jennifer A. Nielsen. Love it. It's a middle grade book about the Berlin Wall. And I was like, maybe I should see if there's other books about the Berlin Wall. Maybe I should read one at the same time as him. And this one came up. This author has written like The German Midwife, The Berlin Girl. Like, she seems to very much stay in that area. I have no idea if it's good. I did not look up any reviews on Goodreads. But her and is she her twin sister? Yeah, her twin sister are separated by the wall. And I don't know, it's a story about families separated on either side of the wall, which is very interesting to me. I really enjoyed A Night Divided, so I would like to read this. And then the other one is The Life of John Newton and the Surprising Story Behind His Song Amazing Grace. This is nice and short. This is like 200 pages almost exactly. So that seems doable. So this is, I don't know how much it's a biography. It's a biography that reads like a novel. It reveals Newton's traumatic story of sin and salvation as a slave trader before his ultimate transformation to speaking out against the horrors of slavery. Yeah, and I'm just in the middle of like doing a whole lot of homeschool planning, and I think I request so many books from the library, I forget why I request half of them. I think this was one of the options that I might give my oldest for school for next year. One of the biography options, and so I wanted to read it first. So I don't know what I'll read of these. You guys let me know if you've read them and if you've enjoyed them. I would like to read them all, but somehow I just actually can't read all day despite having a channel name that says that. Maybe that was just wishful thinking when I renamed my channel years ago. Okay, now let's get into my last few reads of February. So I think this is my third video in February where I've tacked on some recent reads at the end. I'm enjoying it. I don't know if you guys are so much, but I'm really enjoying being able to film the clips kind of like at the end of the week, sharing my reads from the week. And then, which is kind of what I had been doing, but I had been saving all those clips and then combining it together. I like getting your guys' real-time reactions, at least more real-time than what it had been. So my plan is to kind of keep this going. Generally the Sunday videos, maybe sometimes it'll be a different day of the week, but generally the Sunday videos will be a recap of the books that I read recently, and sometimes the Sunday video won't have it. It's you kind of just gotta wait and see what you find, what I put out there. But my plan and what I have been doing is in the time card things, I will have the title of the books that I'm going to be reviewing, so if you want to skip over or skip around you can, and I will also leave links to the videos, my other videos in February, if you want to see all my wrap-up reading from February. So I actually finished some physical books this time round, not just ebooks this time, but I did write some notes. I'm trying to remember here. I feel like I've already reviewed some of these. Apparently it's been 2 weeks since my last update, so I have more books to share than I even realized. I had to double check that I hadn't shared about these. 1/1.5 of them I shared in my Patreon book club already. That's why I was confused, because I was like, I've already talked about this book. Every month we don't read the same book. We get together and share a book we enjoyed that month, or sometimes multiple books, or sometimes a book that we really didn't enjoy. And so I did share this one already, and it's Secondary Target. I forget the author's name, but you'll be able to see. This one I heard about in the Christian booktuber recommendation video that I shared a couple weeks ago. Jane Reads shared about this book, and it sounded really interesting. We know our main character has kind of had a traumatic past. Her mother and brother were killed in I think their home was being robbed or something when she was 13, and then her father moved them to a different city, and they've been like, they got a lot of security, and her dad is very overprotective, but now she's, I don't know, in her 20s or something, and she finds out she's kind of being targeted, stalked a little bit, and this book is her story. This is part of a series. I think each book they're doing the method where they follow a different character kind of from the story. I don't know how much more I can say because I feel like so much of it kind of was revealed as we went, but it's Christian suspense in a good way. I feel like I didn't see what was coming around every corner, and I can appreciate that a lot. So if you're looking for some Christian suspense that doesn't follow the exact formula that a lot of them do, check out that one for sure. I think the second book is not out yet, but it's coming soon. I want to continue the series. Either that or it did just come out. My plan is to continue the series for sure at some point. Then I read a homeschool book. I read Modern Miss Mason by Leah Bowden, and it was a good read. I've had some interactions with Leah over the years in the homeschool world via all my homeschool stuff I have going on. It was a really good kind of like summary of some Charlotte Mason stuff, but I wish it would have had more practical information. It was really lacking in that area, in my opinion. So it's not really one I want to reread anytime soon. And then Emma M. Lyon, I read volume 3, which was like over a week ago already. And so now I need to film this update so I can read the next one. It's still making me giggle. We are set in the Victorian times. It's heavy. There's a lot of like emotional stuff, but it's funny. When I finished reading it, I actually left a review, which I don't do very often, like written reviews, which I don't do very often on Goodreads and stuff, but I think my review was just a delight because that is just what those books are. They do have some heavy topics, but I feel like it's done in a way that you don't feel weighted down after. It's not like made light of, but there's just other things that make me feel good afterwards instead of completely emotionally drained, if that makes sense. I think I've shared one in every one of these clips in February. I've just been reading almost one a week, which is great. It's been fun. Definitely a series I want to own the physical copies of at some point, but I was saying this on Patreon too. I really don't like the covers of the physical books. I feel like the ebooks are nicer. Like the ebooks have the picture of a woman on the cover. The physical books are very plain, and then like there's nothing other than text. And then they're very bright colors often. And so I would like, hopefully in the future, she'll do an edition where they're like a little bit more vintage looking. That's my hope. Then, okay, now we're on to some physical books here. Anne of Avonlea. Okay, so there is a whole live on this again. Shatona co-hosted with me. This is not the book that I thought it was. When I filmed my February TBR, I jumped over this book. I thought we were reading Anne of the Island. I mean, I knew we were reading Anne of Avonlea, but I forgot everything that happened in here. And then I was so confused until I realized, nope, there's a whole nother book. And it was good. I gave it 4 stars. It's not a favorite of mine. Definitely, I'm looking forward to Anne of the Island. That's the one that I just had a lot of fun reading. Not that this one wasn't fun. There's some new characters in here that are pretty funny, but I don't know. There's just not a whole lot of advancement to the plot in this book, I guess. I don't know if that's part of it. Not much happens. Well, all sorts of little silly daily things happen, kind of day-to-day things. But you can watch the live if you want more thoughts on that one. Then I've got The Queen's Resistance. So I finally finished this duology. I am slowly learning to not leave series so long. I need to read them closer together. And I did go back and read a summary of The Queen's Rising, just because I forgot what happened. And I really can't tell you what happens in this book because it's the second book in a series. And even the first book, how I have described it before, is only like the first portion of the book. The first half maybe. The second half and this book kind of go completely different, but I feel like it would be spoilery to say too much. So I don't know what to tell you, other than it's fantasy. It is fairly political, which is normally an anti-buzzword for me, but I feel like it really worked in these books. For me, it was a solid 4-star series. One of the things I really enjoyed is there was a lot of references about light overcoming darkness. To my knowledge, Rebecca Ross is not a believer. Not sure. I don't think so. And then if she's not, that makes it even cooler. Like, I love it when you can see threads of the gospel story in secular books, because it just shows how this is God's plan all along, and I really enjoy that. There was so many references to it that I'm kind of thinking maybe she is a believer, because it seemed like more than would be accidental on her part. But I enjoyed that series for sure, but definitely read them closer together than like the 2 years or whatever it was that I read them in. And then my last book, which I am learning I'm going to continue series, is Archenemies. So my plan is to read Supernova pretty much right away so that I can be done this series and have read it closer together and not forget things. So first book is Renegades, and we follow Nova. When she was young, her family was murdered and she was waiting for the renegades to come help her, and they didn't. But her uncle, in quotation marks, her surrogate uncle, I guess, came and saved her, and he fought against the renegades. And so she is an anarchist, very much against the renegades. But in the beginning book of the first book, she infiltrates the renegades to kind of get to know some secrets so that she can help fight against them, I guess, take them down. And understandably, things get a little bit complicated. She realizes not everyone is as terrible as she's kind of always made them out to be. This book, this like second one, felt a little bit like a second book. Like, we're dragging a few things out. There were some interesting revelations, I guess, I think in this one. There were some interesting things done, I guess. But at the same time, I kind of feel like some of the stuff could have been taken out and we could just go on to book 3. So I am looking forward to finishing the series. But Marissa Meyer has been a really good author. Really enjoyed her whole Lunar Chronicles series, and everyone did say this was going to be a great series, so I'm looking forward to finishing it up, seeing how it all ends. I feel like I have some predictions, but I'm sure some things will be different as well. So that's my reading from the last 2 weeks. I think I should just quickly check to see if I missed a book. Yeah, I think that's it. So let me know some good books that you've been reading lately, any you would recommend. And thanks for hanging out with me while I went thrifting, shared my library haul, and some recent reads. I appreciate each of you.